Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Like and subscribe.
Welcome to the Sit, Walk, Work podcast, a show about paying attention. My name is Dominic and I'm your host, and today is a guided meditation. And what you can expect is that the practice will open up with a brief recap, followed by the actual practice itself. If you find today's episode valuable, please share with your friends and family, and feel free to leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. The show will begin after the following chimes. Being open to exploring what was coming up in practice. Somewhat with a playful nature, but maybe not so much, depending on what was there. But the invitation was present. So we grounded into your sense of your inner resource, your natural state of grounded being. I kind of pointed your direction towards that, called it your safety line in this exploration metaphor. And then we moved into the physical body and sensing the body, and starting from the crown of the head down to the feet, moved into the breath, felt that, focused a little bit on conscious breathing or circular breathing, where we just kind of kept that continuation of breath going. So we played in that space, and then touched on the feelings and the emotions that are coming up for you today and showing up in practice. We worked with those a bit before moving into the space of joy and gratitude. And then out of joy and gratitude, we went back to the openness of awareness that kind of held all of this together. And then, that took us roughly about an hour of practice. Here we are. 60 minutes of I-Rest Yoga Nidra. We will formally start practice in about a minute or so. So for those of you who have not set up your space yet, please take this opportunity to adjust yourself in any way that'll help you be more comfortable. And this is a non-movement practice. This is a guided meditation. It is 60 minutes, preferred taken lying down or some version thereof, but can be taken seated. Sort it out. And we will begin practice now. As you start to get yourself arranged, for those of you who aren't quite there yet, there's a moment of transitioning, if you will, of settling, as your body starts to realize, like, you're going to move it in a different direction. That we're going to take this thing that we call attention, that is focused so much on the world outside of us, and as if it's a spotlight, we're going to flip it, turn it, and redirect it toward ourselves to give us the best gift that we probably ever could give. Right? Our attention is powerful. It's what creates the things in our life. And so to give that to ourselves as a gift, as a matter of practice, is its own rewards in some way. And with anything challenging, new, different, or just that requires a bit of consistency, getting here, showing up, taking that first step, always the hardest part. And all of you have done that. If you haven't closed the eyes, I invite you to do that. That doesn't negate the visual field. It just kind of redirects it, if you will. You'll still get the lights and the shadows from the room that you're in. But it just kind of helps you to attune a bit better to your body and to what's coming up for you today. And I like to think of your practice as an exploration. And this one, albeit whatever comes up, can be focused around a bit of playfulness and curiosity. Just like you were willing to be here, I ask you to be willing to sit with whatever's stirring in your awareness today. And I'll give you prompts and things to focus on as you move through practice. The first thing I'll ask you to notice is notice your level of comfort right now. Simply quickly noting the parts of the body that feel like they're settled and grounded and supported. Notice if you can take a comfortable breath. Also, notice if you've got a little bit of energy still moving through you. Maybe the hands haven't settled down yet, or the breath hasn't calmed down yet. Doing our best not to force, rush, or push ourselves towards anything, but rather let these things come on naturally. Many times throughout practice, I'll kind of be shifting your attention from where we are now, which is in this wide space where we're just kind of taking in all of it for a moment. And I'll ask you to narrow your focus and we'll play back and forth with this ability to zoom in and zoom out with our attention. Something to consider as you're starting out practices: what puts you in this place, in this practice, in this class, in this moment? Why are you here? As I ask the question why you're here, see that and feel that as it enters your ears into the mind. Feel it in the breath. Notice it in your body. And notice any ripple effects that occur from the question. Eventually letting the breath remove the question as if it's just kind of whisking away. Beginning to lock your attention on just the movement of your in and out breath. So rather than have it so wide as it was before, narrow your attention a bit to just feel the breath at the point of origin. Right at the base of the nostrils or through the mouth if you're breathing in through the mouth. Just letting the breath rise and fall. And then slowly start to open your attention a bit wider so that it's not just solely locked in on the breath, but it's also gently noticing the space in this moment. The space in front of you, the space behind you, above you and below you. The other elements of focus, like your attention, sensations in your body, also might be subtly playing in the background. In this way, you come to know what we call your awareness. This is the space that we're watching in practice today. The awareness is the constant that follows you. It's a place where you can ground into. Almost it can become an anchor for you, if you will. And you can build onto that anchor by inviting in a memory or a thought. And the last time you felt really safe and grounded, really supported, held, taken care of. Letting the invitation in of this experience so that you can build out this sense of groundedness. Maybe you start to feel it in the body, become aware of how it affects the breath when you can feel supported in this way. And the thing about exploration is it's always good to have a safety line, a way to find yourself, to navigate yourself back to where you started when conditions aren't optimal. And that's what this grounded sense of being, what we call your inner resource is. It's feeling. Something that no matter where we go in practice today, I'll either invite you or you'll choose to come back to connecting. Letting the breath begin to move up and into the space between the eyebrows. In yoga, we call that your third eye, center of your brow. As we begin to scan the body and notice what sensations are present for us today in our practice. As you bring your attention here, begin to notice how tightly you're holding your attention in this space. See if you can soften it. Moving out from the center of your brow, shift your attention into the right side of your face. Moving from the eye and the eyeball down and into the jaw, into the right ear, the right side of the mouth, right side of the tongue. Just really the entire right side of the face is the landscape you're exploring. Noticing these subtleties that are present. temperature, or texture that you might feel. Being aware of any mental commentary, especially if you're not noticing sensation, which is entirely okay. Journeying back to the center of your brow, kind of reground from this point before moving into the left side of the face, the left eye, down the jawline, the left ear, the mouth, all the way down to the base of the neck. Making note of the lightness that is present here. Or even the heaviness from your head being supported. Noticing how the breath feels as it moves from this space, as it starts from this space. Letting your attention begin to move downwards from the face into the chest, arriving at the center of the chest, specifically your heart space. Noticing what it felt like for attention to move downwards in the body. What new sensations are present here as you start to introduce texture, blankets, shirts and clothing, all of those things. Allowing your attention to move now from the center of the heart into the right side of the chest, upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, and hand. Filling out the whole right side all the way down to your waist, from your waist to the base of your neck, feeling the right side of your torso, that sensation. The right arm is heavy, it's relaxed, supported. As you're scanning the body, be mindful of the commentary, the likes, the dislikes. Notice the things that you want more or less of as you sense and feel the body. And how those things change as your attention shifts and changes. Allowing your attention to refocus back to the center of your heart. And from here, Just sense and feel all the places you've explored thus far. Both sides of the head and neck, your third eye or the center of your brow, all the way down through the right side of right side of your torso, shoulder and arm and hand. Contrasting any other sensations arising in other parts of the body with what you've already focused on. And allowing your attention to move from the center of your heart into the left side of your torso, chest, shoulder, and upper arm, the left elbow, forearm, wrist, hand, and fingers, your whole left torso. While it sits physically next to the right side of your body, it may be miles away in terms of sensation. It's interesting to note that as you move through your practice and change your focus, what was once your center of focus instantly becomes a distraction and switches its place on the continuum. So if you're now sensing and feeling the heaviness and the weight of the left arm, the support that you're feeling there, your attention might be pulled by something happening on the right side or some other area you've explored thus far. In the space of the torso, the breath moves here. You may have felt the breath enter the body at the space of the nostrils or the mouth, but you feel the completion of that here in the torso and the belly. Letting your attention open up just a bit wider and bring in everything from your belly button all the way up to your third eye. Feel that, just the sensation. It's upper half of your body. Letting your next breath move you all the way down to the base of your spine, to the center of your pelvis, to the bottom of your pelvic floor as you breathe in. As we begin to move our attention down into the lower half of the body, starting from the center of your pelvis and moving outwardly into the right leg. Working your way down from the glute into the thigh and the hamstring. Tension moving into the knee, into the calf, down and through and into the ankle, foot and toe. leg feeling heavy and relaxed. Be a little cool to the touch. Part of your body that holds you to the earth and connects you to the ground is now being held and supported. Attention tracking the aliveness of this space. Attempting to reserve the commentary about what you're feeling. Just being curious about what's changing here. From moment to moment. What new message is unfolding? Your attention moving back to the center of your pelvis. And then outwardly into the left leg, the left glute, the left thigh and hamstring, your left knee, front and back, left shin, calf, ankle and foot, all the way down to the toes on the left leg. Holding your attention here in the space of your left leg. Begin to widen your aperture a bit. Start to add in or notice the sensations in your right leg. The movement of breath in your torso. Pulse of your heartbeat. The weight of your arm. The weight of your head. The lightness of your breath as it starts. Holding your attention still on the left leg, but now all of these other components have entered the space of awareness. Notice how there's room for it all. Even for the feeling of being grounded, supported, held. There's room for all of the experience. You can even allow the attention to reconnect with that initial ground of being, space we call your inner resource. Noticing now that you've explored the body as sensation, how that shows up as a matter of experience. And when we explore the body in this way, we see that it's very grounded and very um, individualized parts kind of dissolve a bit. It becomes just more of a wider landscape. In it, the breath is moving through you. In the way that the water moves over the earth, the breath moves through the physical body. This whole time of practice, you've been feeling the body breathing itself. Its natural aliveness, its ability to support you by the next breath being there. As the next breath arises, allow yourself to feel a sense of gratitude for the fact that that happened. And when the breath cycle completes with the exhale, the fact that the next one showed up. Part of the way we'll work with breath today is to allow ourselves to play with the idea of just a continuous breath. See, as you sit here with your attention, watching your breath, if you look closely enough, you'll see that your breath kind of moves in 4 stages. You take a breath in, you can pause at the top of that breath and let the breath go. And you can pause at the bottom of the breath. Take a moment or two to just explore that. It doesn't have to be a long pause on either side of it, but just notice the breath comes in. You can catch it and hold it at the top for 1-2 seconds. Let it go. Hold it for 1 or 2 seconds before starting it. It's with this understanding that the idea of continuous breath makes sense. Instead of either of those pauses, you remove those. And you just allow your breath to move in and move out with no pause. And it's as if the inhale just arrives in and the exhale falls out. And the inhale comes in and the exhale falls out. And working with your breath in this way, I ask you to keep it to a speed that feels natural to you. Different speeds and cadences can change the effect of your body. In today's practice, I just want you feeling the rhythm of continuously breathing. In this way, with the eyes closed, you can feel the subtle movement of the breath in the body as you let it come in and let it go out. You can feel the slight tug of the desire to maybe speed up or slow down. At any time during this journey, if the breath starts to create a sensation of discomfort, know that you can simply release the continuous nature of the breath. Let it return to its natural state. Reconnect with that space of groundedness. Find your safety line. And come back to the space of observation. Begin to let the continuous nature of your breathing slow down. So you softly return the breath back to the body and allow it to breathe itself. As you take in what that experience was like for you. Noticing how the body reacted to it, or thought patterns that showed up. As you're resting in the space of awareness with all that has occurred and is occurring, consider the message being delivered to you in this moment by your feelings or emotion. The feelings and emotions that come and go within us from moment to moment and day to day, they act as the fire that kind of keeps things burning within us. But they follow similar rules to our body. There's ones that we like, there's ones that we don't like, there's ones that we push against or try to hold on to. In the same way that there's parts of us that we like and don't like and want to hold on to or push away from. For today, our attention will meet these emotions and feelings almost as if they are here to deliver a message for us, to tell us something. So we'll attempt to pay attention, to welcome it in, to be with it, to investigate what it might want from you. Part of this exploration is just noticing the ways that our changing feeling and emotional state also correspond to our breathing patterns and to the sensations you feel in your body. And then by exploring them, we can learn to see the ways that they share information, but also in the ways that they change. They are objects of your awareness, that your awareness stays steady and consistent, that there's space here, that even as you're focused on whatever's arising in this moment, you can zoom out slightly. Notice the space around you, above you, below you, beside you. Notice that when you drop back to being awareness, that puts a bit of distance between you and the objects of your experience. And that distance gives you the space to let them move on when they've ran their course. And even if there isn't a strong sense of feelings or emotions present, the absence of them still can be explored simply by noticing what is there. curiosity of your exploration is never wasted. It's just that the objects change. Letting your attention move back to the sense and the feeling of your breath moving in and out, your belly moving up and down, out to the sides and back. Resisting the urge to allow yourself to be pulled away from focusing on the breath or distracted by some other object. Simply allow space for your attention to hold on the breath and with whatever other objects are arising. Sound, thoughts, physical sensation. The emptiness of awareness reminds us that it's in the emptiness. There's space for everything to form and to change. And yet, awareness never changes. If awareness is the sky, then every object arising and changing is the clouds moving through it. And your steadiness comes from the practice of connecting to your awareness. So that you always have a space to be grounded, to be steady, to remind you that you can hold it all. Letting the breath move to the space of the heart, as if this is the space where the breath is moving in and out of. So your attention and your breath kind of work in conjunction here in the heart space. Turning the attention to joyful parts of the practice that you've experienced, or any joy or gratitude recently that you might have experienced, not just in practice. That in letting yourself recall, rehearse, remember the moments of joy, you activate that here in this moment. And notice in the ways that focusing on the moments of joy adjusts the emotions and feelings, which adjusts the breathing pattern, which moves through the body as a sensation. Eventually letting the thought drift away and play in the space of sensations and breath. And it's simply a thought to want to hang on to a sensation or a feeling or an idea a little longer. And yet the practice reminds us that that is a changing object, that our security comes from being our awareness. Being aware of your body, your mind, and your senses. And the fact that they are just moments arising in this thing we call awareness. Letting your attention begin to soften a bit as we've moved you on this exploration through your grounded state of being into sensing your body, noticing your breath, observing the feelings and emotions present today, inviting and welcoming in the joy of the practice of ourselves, of our lives, sitting in the space that we call awareness that kind of holds all of this together. Give yourself the space to simply just be in that space of awareness. Don't hold your attention to any one of those objects too tightly. As we begin to bring our practice to a close today, bring your attention to your hands. Start with the simple movement of opening and closing the hand. Just enough to kind of let the body slowly come back online. Keeping close attention to when the eyes open and you allow in the rest of your visual field. Recognizing that even that is just a distinct experience that's also held by your awareness. Except now, there's more there. There's everything that visually comes with your day to day, plus everything that's happening inside of you. And that awareness holds all of this kind of in the background, enabling your moment to change.
That's the beauty of it.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. I invite you to check out my Substack, where we are building a community of like-minded individuals to discuss all topics related to the idea of paying attention. I hope to see you there. But until then, with metta may you be well.
Like and subscribe.